Welcome to KiwaniTalk. We're a public information show put together by people from the Dearborn Kiwanis Club, help from the students and faculty here at WDHS, Dearborn High School, my alma mater. Welcome to KiwaniTalk. We are the longest running cable access program in the entire world. My name is Gary Gardner. I'm your host. And today we're going to talk about something that some of us need more than others, and to talk about it. And if I was to tilt my head down, you could see what I'm talking about. I can't want to do that to the show here. We're talking about scalp aesthetics and whatever that is. And I know what it is. I'm just giving our guest a hard time. We have guests as Ali Safieddine.
Ali Safieddine.
Safieddine, and Ali is a scalp aesthetist.
I'm an artist.
Artist?
Yeah, SMP artist.
Okay.
SMP stands for scalp micropigmentation.
Okay, so but talk about yourself. You're not from here originally. Where'd you come from?
I was born and raised in Germany. My parents are from Lebanon.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Germany, and I've been here for about over 20 years.
Okay. And you live in the Dearborn area?
Yes, I do.
What do you think, scalp aesthetics and the pigmentation, how long has that been around?
It's been, it's been around for about, I want to say 15 years, close to 15 years. They had on and off, kept trying to perfect it till they did. And they keep changing it. We keep getting better at it.
Okay, what is it? What is this? What is it? What does it do, and who would need it?
For scalp micropigmentation is a non-surgical procedure where, for hair loss, I want to say for people who have thinning hair, baldness, male pattern baldness, women, men, for every individual.
So there's three words. You said skin, micropigmentation.
Scalp micropigmentation.
So you're not doing anything with the hair necessarily,
no,
but right into the scalp.
Yeah, we create an illusion of hair. Scalp micropigmentation, we create little tiny dots, which we call an illusion of follicles, and you have to be highly trained for it. And a lot of artists people think it's simple, like a tattoo. It's technically, some people call it hair tattoo, but tattoo and scalp micropigmentation are two different things.
So you said it's only been around for about 15 years
yes.
or so. Who got the idea for doing this? And I can see they used to have the spray-on stuff for your hair.
Yeah, I get
and that would darken up your skull, but they took that a step further. What was the idea behind it?
So I came across a man, his name is Bryce Cleveland. He wanted to figure out a way how to give himself a full head of hair without going through the hair transplant and scarring and all this. So he, for years, tried to figure out a way with tattooing, creating the look of hair follicles. And he started back in 2007. Because he was very insecure.
Tattoos, though, I've never had one, but I understand that they're pretty painful when they do it. I wouldn't think I'd want that on my head.
Yeah, I have tattoos, and I can tell you it's not a tattoo. It's not as painful as a tattoo, not nearly. Some clients actually fall asleep.
Well, you mentioned that before, that the tattoo, you go through multiple layers of the derma.
Yeah, so tattoo, it's a bigger needle. They use tattoo ink, and they go 7 layers into the skin to create the art, to draw the art. The needle stays in the skin, and they just move it around, fill it in, which could be painful and bleeding involved. I go through a whole procedure without a drop of blood. And it's creating, because I go 1 layer into the skin to create a perfect, an illusion of a perfect hair follicle.
So how much experimentation, or did this Bryce, what's his name again?
Bryce Cleveland.
Bryce Cleveland. How did he figure out to change from the tattoo to the pigmentation?
Oh, he had a little hard time, and in the beginning, a lot of people, there was talked about him, but then he perfected it, he understood it, he got good at it, and learned that it's not a tattoo. It's like a tattoo because I'm a trainer too, so we're going 1 layer into the skin. If you go too deep, you can create, we call it a blowout, where the ink goes in too deep and blows up and it looks like a round dot. I'm a trainer. When I train my artists, when I first have them master how to do a perfect pigment, I put 2 pieces of paper on top of each other. They have to poke a hole in the first piece of paper without poking a hole in the second piece of paper. It's very delicate work, and consistency is everything in this business.
So, again, going back to how you, Ali Safieddine, figured out to do this, what was the impetus for you to even try it? So, I'm going to guess because of some hair issues.
Yeah, I started losing hair in my mid-30s, and I did some research. I didn't want to do hair transplant. I seen people that struggle with scars, and you know, didn't get the results they thought they get, but it's not something I considered. Plus, back then was very expensive. So I came across somebody that was doing it in Troy. So I figured I'd try it out. Even it was pretty pricey too back then. So when I see them do it, I thought to myself, you know, this can't be that big of a deal, you know, and I liked it actually, and the way it came out. But back then I was receding, you know, and he did the front hairline for me. So after doing more research, I got more interested. But I also realized then that the work he did wasn't that good. He didn't stay in business very long afterwards. So he actually had the same name, you know, because he was affiliated with the company. I guess he got, I don't know, quit, fired, you know, I don't know what to call it. But then I came across the website, Scalp-Aesthetics, and Bryce Cleveland. And I got curious. I wanted to learn it. So
you had to go through training?
Yes. I went the first time for a 7-day interactive one-on-one training in Arizona.
Plus classes.
Plus classes, and then I had to go back again for second time, 7 days, one-on-one training. You have to learn everything from scratch, how to put a machine together, how to create a perfect pigment, then you gotta learn how to draw a hairline, and then learn how to create an illusion of hair follicles and blending it into the natural hair to all look that belongs together. That's all one. So you can't tell those separation from the pigments and your natural hair.
Okay, so we went through a whole bunch of things there. Let's talk about, first of all, a person who would be a candidate to have the Scalp-Aesthetics, the micropigmentation. Who would be your primary or target customer?
It used to be in the beginning, many people think it was just for people who are completely bald, but in my career I learned that people with hair, the illusion is greater than just people without. So for people with hair, losing hair, receding hairlines, women, I have a lot of women clients with thinning hair. They want to create density. Then men who wants to bring the hairline back naturally, and you can accomplish it with SMP, scalp micropigmentation, and painless.
So let's talk about thinning, because the person who takes care of my hair says I'm starting to come through the top a little bit, and she suggested I go with a ponytail look, which I'm not going to do a ponytail.
Right.
But for a person whose hair, especially on the top, you can't tell from this angle, but trust me, if you had an eye shot, you could see it. What is this the kind of candidate that you?
Yes, I have a lot of clients, same like you, who are bothered by the crown, by thinning, and with candidates like this, we create density naturally, looking without creating the crazy hairline. Just every client picks their own hairlines, you know. So on my Instagram website, you see all kinds of hairlines. They're all picked by my clients, but people with hair, you know, you want to keep it natural by creating just density, naturally, with creating an illusion of hair follicles.
Okay, so you mentioned a website. What's your website and what's your
Scalp-Aesthetics Dearborn.
Okay, how do you spell aesthetic? Oh, guess what? It's right here, right in front of us.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Isn't that amazing through the miracles of technology?
Me something.
So Scalp-Aesthetics Dearborn.
Scalp-Aesthetics Dearborn.
And you can come in and you can get the information.
Yeah.
So if if you looked at the top of me, and we'll hide it from the camera, you can look this way.
All right.
What would you say how could that help someone like myself? It either looks good from the front, but from the top, it's not as good.
Yeah, I always advise people to do their research and come in for consultation, you know, and understand the process, how it works, and what we can do for them with scalp micropigmentation. Someone like you're asking me,
right.
is creating density.
So when you say, you mentioned creating density, how can you create density by just really drawing on the scalp?
No, we're not drawing.
Okay.
So,
Let's explain it.
So yeah,
okay.
it's a 3-session process.
Okay.
Okay, and from session to session, we keep building up. The first session, we create a foundation and build out, and then each session you come in, we keep adding density. Over.
When you say density,
density,
what do you mean?
like creating more hair, fuller look.
Okay.
You know, so from session to session, I work a bit different. I want to say than other artists. I wanted more from what I learned, and I really work in layers from session to session. I layer over my previous work, working over and in between to create a 3D effect, and I blend it into the client's natural hair, following the hair patterns, hair follicles, blend it into it, and based on their thickness of the hair, that's how much density I will add on the top.
Okay, so talk about the density then. So when you're done, how thick, if you're talking about the depth of a piece of paper, how thick is what
that's
you
not
put
going
in
to
there?
change. You know, that's not going to change. No matter what, we go one layer.
You're not going to put little strings in
there. No hairlines, no nothing. We just repeatedly go one layer into the skin, creating hair follicles, and you know, working over from session to session in layers over them. Till, let me put it that way, like when we are younger, our hair is darker from the top, thinner from the side. When we get older, the sides gets darker, because it's fuller, because we're losing on the top, and it's thinner on the top. I try to create about 15% more density on the top than the side of the hair to make it look younger again and give them that confidence back.
Okay, so it's basically you're artist.
I am an artist. Yeah.
And your palette, depending on the person's hair color.
Yes.
So sometimes...
And that's, a lot has changed. When we first started, they used to make charcoal-based ink, and you'd have 3 different inks, depending on how light or how dark the hair is, you would have to mix it. And if you mix it wrong, there was tattoo dye in it to able to get the darker color. And if you mix it wrong back then, it can turn to green and blue. What makes us different and special actually is our ink. It's an organic black color without tattoo dye in it, where we add solution to it to balance the color of the pigments.
So can you get any color you want with the dyes, or is there a range that you're stuck to?
We basically balance. I match it to the skin tone and to the hair color, and I'm able to match it to whatever the client's hair color is, and mix it the right way, basically, with the solution, and go from there.
So even just plain white like mine or silver like mine?
Some people want salt and pepper, and then I tell them, okay, if you have black and gray hair, let's just add more black hair, then you look like you have less gray hair.
Okay.
You know, but some people want the salt and pepper look, you know, they call it. Yeah, but I do people with red hair, blonde hair, black hair, brown hair, every color.
Every color.
And you can see it on my all my social media. I have a lot of before and after pictures. I've been doing this for 8-9 years. I love what I do.
Okay, well, we're going to come back and talk some more about it and see. During the break, I'll have them give me a diagnosis to see if I'm a likely candidate or not. Come back talking with Ali Safieddine from Dearborn Scalp-Aesthetics, Scalp Micropigmentation.
Scalp Micropigmentation.
Don't go away. It's getting exciting pretty much. Here we go.
It's easy to get caught up in the details. The day-to-day grind, numb to the noise, going round and round and round. Deep down, there's something missing. void inside, a hole to fill, a life lacking. Then, in a minute of clarity, it hits you. The aha moment. You're needed. Kids need you. Kids of all kinds. All these funny, rambunctious, sweet, attention-seeking, vulnerable bundles of energy. They need your love and support. Some have huge life hurdles. Poverty, disease, hunger. And they're reaching out for you. Around the corner, around the world. You are a Kiwanian at heart, a role model, a guide, a builder of dreams. Together, we are Kiwanis, passionate and strong, ready to move mountains or grains of sand. Imagine every child reaching their potential. The power to help is in you. It's not about us. It's about them. Do you hear the call? Kids need Kiwanis. Kiwanis needs you.
Welcome back to KiwaniTalk. My name is Gary Gardner, your host for this episode, talking about something near and dear to all of us, and particularly me as I look at the top of my head in the mirror and look down. We have Safieddine from Dearborn Scalp-Aesthetics talking about scalp micropigmentation. See, I'm trainable.
Well, SMP. It's known as
So
SMP.
during the break, Ollie took a look at the top of my head and said, "Well, I'm beyond hope, right? Or no?"
No, I didn't say that.
I'm not kidding. So, what would you recommend for someone like myself who wanted to in my daughter age, my old age, to look a little bit younger than I am?
Well, to focus on creating density, to give you the full look from the top, okay. So you're not able to see the thinning hair that you have in the crown on the top, and it's a 3-session process.
Okay.
You want me to explain how that works?
Yes, talk about the process. Yes.
Yeah, it's a 3-session process. I actually do 3 sessions. I like to do a 5-week follow-up touch-up session. I'm picky about my work. Like I mentioned, I love what I do. And it's the pain level between 1 and 3, I want to say. Some clients fall asleep when I'm doing it. A session can take 2 to 3 hours.
1 and 3, what's the top? 1
well,
or 10?
I don't.
1 or 10?
No, the thing is, many people, some people tell me it feels like a massage. Okay. Some people, after a while, start to feel it a bit more, because you got to remember, it's nothing like a tattoo. We go 1 layer into the skin. You know, we're poking right through the first layer. Okay,
so if I come to your office, and you're on Ford Road in Dearborn, right?
Yes.
Between Telegraph and Beach Daily.
Yes, 25121 Ford Road.
Next to Discount Tire is a good landmark. So if you come in, what would you expect when you walk in and you sit down, lay down? How do you do it?
Oh, you come in, we sit down and talk, and they're tell me what they expect, what they want, what they're interested in, what brought them into me, to my office, and I explain how the process works, and talk to them about everything we talked about, everything that I do, and if they like what they hear, we set an appointment and go from there.
So when they actually come in for the appointment, I'll call it procedure.
Procedure, that's what I call it.
Procedure. Yeah. So you lay back and what do you do?
When they come in actually for the appointment,
yeah.
Yes, yeah, they come and sit down in the chair where I set them back, and I'm behind them. At first, we'll measure the head, create a hairline that they desire. They tell me usually what kind of hairline they had or want. and we measure it up and draw it, and if they like it, we go from there. And then the first session can take 2 to 3 hours. Over the years, I got quicker at what I do. I don't try to, but I have to say 2 to 3 hours each session.
Okay, and so in that 2 to 3 hours, and describe the instrument that you use. What exactly is it?
Yeah, so it's similar to a tattoo gun, you know, and the needles, it's different than a tattoo needle, way smaller, and basically the ink that we have, the organic ink, it's FDA approved actually, and we hook the needle up to the machine, and we, you know, you dip it in the ink, and you start working and creating those illusion of follicles.
So it's, don't take this wrong, it's like dot art in a way.
Yeah, so yeah, it's creating tiny, it's an illusion of hair, creating little tiny dots, colored dots, depending on the hair color, next to each other, you know.
And how many, in a 2 or 3 hour session, how many?
Oh, every client is different,
okay.
But it's quite a few, you know, and from session to session, it gets, you know, keeps adding to it, you know. In the first session, I focus more on building a foundation. I call it build out, that I prep the client. Each session is 2 weeks apart. That's how much time they need to heal. But when I say heal, it's nothing, when they leave my office, they don't leave with no pain, no bleeding, they don't have, the aftercare is very simple, you know, they don't really have to worry about anything. Just first week, just wash, be careful, wash it with water. The first day when I actually do the pigmentation, because the ink is dry, when I put it in the skin, it's super small. Some clients don't even see it, mildly see it, until the ink starts to dry. When the ink throughout the days ahead, it'll dry, get darker, you know, it gets darker, gets a little bigger, then it shrinks back up, and then the skin heals over it. When I come for the second session, it gives me all the answers I need to go to step 2. And that's what I base on how, you know, how it healed on each client, how it looks, the color, and I might change the color, and then I start layering over that work and break into the natural hair, connecting it.
So when you're doing the application during the procedure, all the dots are the same color?
Yes.
Okay.
And they have to be, like I mentioned before, consistency is so important. Every dot, every follicle, every dot has to look the same, you know. So, and repeatedly next to each other in a pattern that we use. You know, we create the foundation. The next sessions they come in, so I use the same pattern, working over some of the previous pigments, and in between to create that 3D effect and focus more on density. And into the third session, again, go over that layer that we did in the second session, and then I focus more on details, blending it into the natural hair, so you can tell the separation from the hair follicle, from your natural hair and the pigment, so it flows all together. All my clients tell me nobody even knows it's not real hair. Guys with short, guys who are bald, guys with long hair, you know, they all tell me many people don't even know they did scalp micropigmentation.
So when you say that they that you put the dots, my laser printer has 1,200 dots per inch. Do you have any idea how many dots per square inch that you put up there on that?
It's hard to tell, but you're talking a lot, especially into the second session. If you have a full head that you're doing, hundreds to maybe more, you know, per treatment.
So then you talked about the aftercare too. So 2 things come up. The first couple of days you just use water to
Yeah, the first week I tell my clients I just want them to use water, and because the pigments, when they heal and dry out under the skin and peels the dead skin, I don't want them to use any soap, shampoo. It can cause an allergic reaction, anything like that. I want them just to use water till the ink completely dry under the skin. And then I want them to use the shampoo, and that helps dry out the skin, get rid of the dead skin, and that's when the new skin heals and closes on top of the pigments.
And then after you you can go back to your normal hair care, or
Yeah,
do you
after
have
the
any-
week, after the first week, they can, even after 3 days, they can, if they want to work out. The first 3 days, I don't recommend them to sweat a lot, go work out. But it's a very simple aftercare. They don't have to do really much. They're just things that they have to avoid doing.
So, like old newspaper print after time fades away, and how long does the ink last on
You know, when
on
I
the
first
scalp?
started, 9 years ago, we did it a bit different. So it used to fade a bit quicker, and people would come back for touch-up. And that's when I told you I changed a lot in the industry, the way I was doing it, by start working in layers. By going over the same pigments, I'm imprinting them. So it's long-lasting. Many clients come back to me for touch-ups when I recommend them, they wouldn't even need it. But when they do come, the clients that do want to come back, mainly because they want to soften up their hairline, because they made a wrong decision. They wanted it like a sharp look, and now they want it more natural. But it's meant to last. It's meant to last forever. It never goes away. You know, look at that tattoo that we get, and now I'm comparing it to that. But it doesn't just go away. But over many years, it might lighten up, and I recommend sometimes touch up.
So in my process, my hair used to be dark. Hard to believe, but
Right.
it was. And now it's much lighter. So what happens when people's hair changes color? What happens with that? What do you do?
So then they're gonna look like they have the salt and pepper look, because now they're growing their gray hairs, but they have the darker pink. But over the years also, you know, the more years go by, my clients tell me the better it looks. It becomes part of the skin and matches into their look more. They love it more and more as time goes by. But if they're gray more, it just won't show as much when they had the SMP done, you know. And many clients come in, and sometimes they do want to keep that salt and pepper look, and sometimes they tell me they just want touch up to create more darker pigments to have less gray hair showing, basically.
So, and we're getting down to our last 2 minutes or so here.
Right.
Certain people I know, my family, they change their hair color, not often, but change it often enough.
Oh yeah, I have clients, women, men who do that.
So, and you mentioned the green and the blue. I'm not talking about going to green or blue, but
Oh no, that's our ink doesn't do that, and
Okay.
that's what makes our product so special.
Okay.
You know, back when he first started, the charcoal-based ink had tattoo dye in it, which a lot of the artists out there, this is what they use, different based ink, but they have tattoo dye in it. Ours doesn't turn green or blue like a tattoo.
But if I wanted to change my hair to green or blue, I'd be stuck with the bases underneath.
Oh,
that
I don't offer green and blue. I offer, you know,
regular colors.
the regular color,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Well, Safieddine, the name of your business again is?
Scalp-Aesthetics Dearborn. I'm on Ford Road, 25121. Ford Road. Check me out on my website, Scalp-Aesthetics Dearborn, Instagram, Facebook. I'm on every platform, TikTok. Everything there is, I'm on there. I have a lot of before and after pictures and a lot of success stories. And my clients, my reviews tells it all. Brings their confidence back. And changing, over the years, start putting hashtag changing life, because all my clients tell me, hey, you changed my life, and they love the results.
So scalp
Scalp
micropigmentation. Very
micropigmentation.
good. Ali, Safieddine, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. I
Good to
appreciate
see you.
you.
Take care. And
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for tuning in to KiwaniTalk. I'm Gary Gardner. Check Ali out if you got some issues like mine. I'm not going to put my head down, but if you did, you could tell maybe I should go see him. Take care.
Thank you.
Next time. Bye-bye.